Based upon extensive research I've done on the internet, when most people hold something that's 3 inches in their hand or smaller, they're not that impressed. But that's because none of those people were holding the new Nitecore EC11. It's something that's 3 inches that performs like it's 12 inches, and it's available at Tech Tool Supply. The EC11 checks all the premium flashlight feature boxes. It has that HA3 hard anodization, covering an aluminum alloy. It has dual red and white LED operation, and an orange peel reflector to help create a nice, smooth beam pattern. The main output is created by a Cree XML2 cool white emitter, which I found pumps out over 1,000 lumens in my testing. The secondary red LED light is a single mode operation, and it's actually a lot dimmer for, those night purposes that people use them for sometimes. The EC11 can accept multiple battery types, including a 3-volt non-rechargeable CR123A battery, a rechargeable lithium-ion RCR123A battery, and higher drain 18350 batteries. Button top cells work best, although I have found some flat top cells work too, but no promises. The EC11 does not have low voltage protection, so make sure you recharge the cell when output starts to decline significantly, or you can just use protected cells. Alright, so what does the EC11 come with? The light, a box, a manual, a holster, a clip, a spare O-ring, a plastic sleeve to prevent battery rattle when using CR123A batteries, and in a move that surprises no one except for go-to hate flashlight reviews, a lanyard. Now it's hand close-up time, so let's go over the user interface. The EC11 is a 2-button light with a mode memory, but you already knew that. One is the power button, one is the mode button. To turn it on, press the power button. To scroll through all the white brightness levels, press the mode button. From lower to turbo, and then it starts over. When you turn it off and back on, it will be on the same mode as you left it, because that's mode memory, bro. Red modes and strobe modes are not saved into mode memory. To get to your favorite part, the strobe loop, press and hold the mode button while it's on any white light mode, and it's on. To scroll through the strobe loop, press and hold the mode button. There's flashy strobe. Then there's beacon, that thing that flashes occasionally. I mean, it's like regular, but it still doesn't flash that often. And then there's SOS mode. To get to red from off, click the mode button once. There's also hidden slow strobe. While in red mode, press and hold to enter slow red strobe, which is useful for, I'll get back to you on that. Press and hold to go back to constant output red, or just turn it off. Okay, how about the shortcuts and special features? Shortcut to lower, press and hold the power button from off. Shortcut to turbo, press and hold mode from off. To strobe, and not strobe loop, double click the mode from off and it gets you into freak out strobe. Need to locate it in the dark when it's off? Well, when turning it off, press and hold the power button instead of a short click off. Okay, so to lock the light out and check the voltage of the battery, press and hold both buttons at the same time for more than a second when the light is on, because it will not work from off. You get a flash of white, and then the red light indicates the battery voltage. It'll blink several times, pause briefly, and then blink some more to indicate the numbers before and after the decimal point in battery voltage. To unlock the light and use it again, press and hold both buttons. Battery voltage is also indicated when a new battery is put in. It's always a good idea to lock out the light when not using it and to prevent accidental activation. Since this light has an electronic switch, I recommend locking it out fully by giving the battery tube a twist while it's on. That way the light will not drain your battery at all when off. Nitecore says, though, that the light will last 170 days in the double button lockout mode before draining the battery completely. If this is an emergency light, you probably would want to use long shelf life non-rechargeables and lock it out the way I prefer, which is untwisting the tail cap slightly. Okay, since you've been paying close attention because you haven't drifted off, right? You'll know that the EC11 uses 2 battery types. There are advantages to both batteries, and depending on which you use, it affects output levels. If you want the absolute brightest output on turbo, you'll need to use a high drain lithium-ion battery. Anyway, the modes are as follows. You see both outputs on the screen along with my estimates and Nitecore's official figures. Sorry about the CNN level of distracting text on the screen. Make sure you pause the video if you need to check out the stuff, and make sure you never watch CNN. First is red, which is available only in a really low output, and that weird slow flashing mode. Okay, so next is lower. Then is low. Then is mid. Then is high. And finally there's turbo. You'll note that when using non-rechargeable batteries, the light does not have visible PWM, but there is some higher frequency PWM when using the 3 middle modes, which most people will never notice when using a lithium-ion high drain battery. Okay, how about the runtimes? If you use the light for extended periods of time and you don't need 1000 lumens of light, CR123A batteries are a good way to go. Okay, so let's first do a split screen of turbo with CR123A and 18350 batteries. With both batteries, the light steps down at about 3 to 4 minutes. The 18350 battery goes from 1029 lumens to 520 lumens pretty quickly, and the CR123A battery goes from 499 lumens to 413 lumens in its initial step down. Since the light is so bright and uses smaller batteries, the runtimes on lithium ions aren't that long, at 30 minutes. The CR123A battery lasts longer because it runs at lower levels on turbo at about 1 hour and 40 minutes before shutting off. Okay, on high, we'll do both too. Remember, you might get shorter run times than me on the 18350 battery because I did not use protected cells and I ran the battery down past what's generally considered a safe level. Check battery levels periodically when using lithium-ion batteries because you don't want the battery getting below 2.7 volts. The 18350 battery lasts only a little longer on high than it does on turbo, and the same goes for the CR123A battery at just a little over an hour and 40 minutes. This is mainly because there is such a quick initial step down on turbo to keep the EC11 from overheating. How about medium on a CR123A battery? Didn't test it with an 18350 battery this time, but it runs over 3 hours at a constant brightness of about 130 lumens before cutting off at about 3 hours and 45 minutes. Okay, how about that beam shot section? Let's see. I set my camera to manual and set the lights to their maximum output level because of flashlight science. First, you'll see the difference in brightness using 2 battery types on the EC11 at 75 feet. So that's what 500 lumens-ish and 1000 lumens-ish looks like. And then some other lights. My tested output estimations are seen on the screen using the FL1 standards. But let's move on while the beam shot section continues. The light is dust-proof and waterproof to IPX8 standards, meaning shallow submersion or being out in the elements is perfectly okay. It's impact-proof to 1.5 meters. The light tail stands very well in case you'd like to pretend it's a candle. It's flexible in how you carry it. It has a clip for pocket carry, or a holster for belt carry, or a lanyard for some hot wrist action. And how about opinions? Out of all the flashlights I've tested, I haven't encountered a smaller light that's brighter. Sure, the Olight S1 is smaller, but again, it isn't as bright. And the BLF A6 is brighter, but it's longer in length, even with the stubby tube. The light absolutely screams with a lithium-ion battery. If you don't need absolute maximum brightness or want a longer shelf life battery, it's still super bright on a CR123A battery. Seriously, 500 lumens is plenty for most people. If you do want to operate it with lithium-ion batteries, just check the battery voltage regularly with the convenient built-in indicator like I showed you in that overly long user interface tutorial. The light is available at Michigan-based Tech Tool Supply, your new favorite authorized Nitecore dealer, who is your point of contact in the rare occurrence that you ever need Nitecore's 5-year limited warranty. They provided this light for review. Okay, so thanks for watching. Make sure you comment on the video, like it, and subscribe to my channel for all the cool stuff to come. And pat yourself on the back because you made it through a long video about a tiny light.